In August of 2013, the mine initiated insolvency proceedings. Overnight, the mine closed. Since then, a provisional liquidation process has carried on slowly, but as a result of the mine not being restarted, there has been no environmental mitigation or rehabilitation undertaken at the mine, and any socioeconomic obligations that we believe the corporate actors should have fulfilled in a normal closure process were simply not undertaken. As a result, this community was left entirely unprepared for the mass unemployment that is now a hallmark of the community, for the exposure that they're clearly experiencing to environmental contamination as a result of the mine not being rehabilitated. And the question of basic services is an enormous one and deeply affecting the quality of life. As I mentioned earlier, there is raw sewage coursing through the streets that children play in and walk through on their way to school because the sanitation infrastructure is collapsing. In the course of the process of preparing this report, we did meet with a number of government departments, including human settlements, environment, the DMR, and social development. Uniformly, there was an awareness of the catastrophe that is unfolding in Blyvooruitzicht, but also a seeming paralysis preventing action on the part of the state. Now, the local government certainly has responsibilities to this community that lives within its jurisdiction, but they also seem to be completely unprepared to take over their constitutional role as the provider of basic services. The collapse of this mine seems to have caught everyone by surprise, and in the subsequent 3 years, no action has been taken to assist this community.
And what's the way forward here? What are your recommendations?
Sure, there's a number of them in the report. We do call for legislative amendment or clarification to close some of the loopholes that allow for these type of circumstances to emerge in the context of insolvency. The law is in some ways robust at governing or protecting communities at closure if those provisions are observed and enforced. But in the context of insolvency, a gap seems to open up. This mine is not closed, but it's not open, and the community is suffering. So it seems to be a feature of the South African mining industry where the company, for as long as it exists, often acts as the state in terms of provision to basic services, providing housing, so on and so forth. So when that mine collapses or the company closes, the community is left without that provision. We see the decline of the gold and platinum industry coming, as many others have, and we're concerned about what the impact will be on the mining affected communities like Blyvooruitzicht throughout the country.